Welcome back to Business on the Vine. I'm your host, Lady Jen Du Plessis. Thank you so much for joining us. We are in beautiful Bluemont, Virginia at Bluemont Vineyards, and right down from our house. Right down from our house, or wait, up from our house, I should say. But I'm here today with my dear friend Nancy Allard, and I'm so excited to talk to you about a topic that I love. You know, I love this topic. You know, I love this topic, but I want to learn about how you created this beautiful business that you have. So without further ado, we're going to get started. So Nancy, we met, where did we meet?
I think we met at Christina Burari's Sterling Women luncheon
years ago.
Years and years.
Oh
and
my
years
goodness,
ago.
I didn't realize.
Because when we met, I think you were still a loan officer when we met.
probably.
So that was hundreds of years ago.
Yeah.
Look how beautiful we look.
I look great for 100 years ago. Yeah. Oh my gosh, yeah. And then we rekindled. We were at an event up in Pittsburgh, and then you came to our lake house, and
we rekindled again at another Christina Burari's.
Oh my goodness.
Right, because we were at a vineyard. And I won
the Firefly Cellars, which, by the way, we're going to be filming it tomorrow or next day. We're going to be filming
Fireflies. And then I won the trip to your mastermind.
That's right.
Which was, oh, by the way, so everything. Yeah. It was everything. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, we've done a lot of things together. I don't even realize
and then
it.
We were at Pittsburgh.
I love the connections. Yeah. You know, this is what business is all about, right? Is all of these connections that we have. So let's start with what you do. DMV, Maryland, Virginia, right? The DMV and extraordinaire. And there are a lot of real estate agents that come into the market and are just agents forever. Not you.
No, not me.
You want to do something a little bit different.
I've always been a little different and creative. I remember, and I've always been a leader, not a follower. Because I remember I was in high school and my best friend Lisa, we graduated, we're going to college, and she got pregnant. My mom was all nervous, and she was like, well, Lisa's not going to college. You guys are so cool. I was like, lady, you don't know me. You don't know the child you raised. I am a leader. I don't follow people. We'll still be friends. She's going to be pregnant with her child, and I'm going to college because I know what it is I wanted. And when I came into this real estate space, I came in saying, look, I want to do something that's going to make me a lot of money. I don't lie about that. That's what I wanted to do.
Well, that's what we're in business for.
That's what we're in business for, to make money. But September this year will be 30 years. Wow. I'm a real estate broker. I'm kept in this business knowing that I am a part of helping you. You're owning a property, of purchasing your largest, and then years later I put together my real estate license and my life insurance license. So now I show you passive income, generational wealth, and leverage life insurance so you can live your best life. So you can live your best life. Yeah. So now I'm a financial strategist.
Yeah, I love it. I love this. And I know one of your specialties is working with multifamily. We'll get to that. We're going to get to that in just a minute. But I want to stick to business on the vine, right?
Yes.
What are some of the struggles that you had early on in creating the business of real estate? And I've got a lot of real estate friends, okay?
Well, they're realtors, they're not business owners.
They're not business owners.
They're not business owners.
They're practitioners can fall into being a practitioner in our business and not the CEO. So what were some of the struggles that you had as you were discerning this, sorting this out, going, wait a minute, there's something different about the way I want to do business versus what you're doing?
Well, what I realized is when, not mentioning names, so when one of my colleagues who's been in the business for a long time and had a great business, but when he left, he just left.
No legacy.
No, nothing. Nothing. And I was like, no, that is not, I am not just going to be that's why I said I'm not a transactional person. Right. I'm a relationship building person. Yeah. So I wanted to create a business that I can sell when I leave. Yes. That I don't just, been here with nothing.
Yeah, no. What a waste.
And that comes with, you have to create the systems.
Yes.
You gotta have, look, listen, I
They've
fought the
heard that from
systems.
me before.
I fought the systems for
Yeah.
years. It was
Yeah.
years before I got a CRM, which is a,
Right.
you know,
contact relation management.
thank you.
Right. I don't even know.
I don't even know, but because it took
We know
me,
what it is. Yeah.
I was in the business, I think 20 years before I had a CRM. Everything
Yeah.
was in my head.
Yeah, or on your phone.
Or
scattered
or
someplace.
scattered somewhere.
Right, right.
And then I realized if I wanted to sell it, and I guess this is what makes it going to be in it when I'm in it and I go, is you have to make sure it is duplicatable. Mm-hmm. Right? Because if it's not duplicatable, then you could just go ahead and walk away. Right. You have to make sure you set up the systems and the processes so that if you're not there, it still runs and it still does what it's supposed to do without you. Yeah. And that's what I'm creating so that when I'm ready to leave, I can turn it over to someone and I can still get residuals from it. Yeah. I love that.
How did you get in real estate? Because we always laugh about this, you know, me being in the mortgage business, having been, right, for 35 years. I was in, and we didn't go to school. We
Not
didn't,
for
you
that.
know, when we were 7, we were saying we were going to be a doctor and a veterinarian and a fireman. We never said, I'm going to be, I'm not going to be, I'm going to be a loan officer, right? So we never did that. Yeah. How did you stumble into real estate? Because that really is what happens.
Yeah, because for years I wanted to be a lawyer. That's what I wanted to be. And then it took because I'm dyslexic and it took 2 time reading the, even though they give me extra time to do the LSAT. I was like, I don't have time for all this reading.
Right. I can be making money.
It's going to require a lot of reading. And I was like, I can't do it. But I was talking to a friend one day, Francine, and she said, "Oh, I'm taking the."
That sounds interesting.
That sounds interesting. And I said, I'm gonna do that. And I did it, and I went with Weicker, but in Virginia. She was in DC, and I think she lasted 30, maybe 3 months or whatever. She's like, no, this is not for me. Yeah. But 30 years later, here I am. But I went in, and I was like, I was 28 years old, and I didn't know anybody that had money to buy homes and stuff like that, because I came from New York to go to Howard University, and after I graduated, I stayed here.
You just stayed here because you loved it so
much.
I
loved it so much. So I'm like, okay, but I went, what's not to love?
What's not to love?
I have to give credit to the office. It was in Annandale. It's no longer there. It's Wyckoff Realtors in Annandale.
On Little River Turnpike.
Yes.
Because I worked for a mortgage company right down the street from there.
Oh, did you?
Yes.
And so then you know all the big wigs and all the movers and shakers that was in that office. And it was all older white women that was killing it in the real estate game. And they all took me under their wings. And they said, you're going to be fabulous at this. And every weekend they would give me an open house. And I just fell in love with this thing. And I was like, this is what I'm going to be doing. I love this. And here I am.
I love it. I love it. Well, we're going to take a quick break. But when we come back, I want to find out how you meld these two together. Yes. How and why that passion is there. So stick around. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Thanks for sticking around. We are talking with Nancy Alert, real estate broker extraordinaire, financial advisor, strategist extraordinary. I want to be careful because she's not a CFP.
Right. I'm a financial strategist.
Yeah, that sounds good. And you know, it's funny because you know, one of the courses that I do is for real estate. You and I need to talk about this afterwards. Yes. But it is a wealth strategist. Oh, yeah, very similar, but very different because we're not doing exactly the same thing. Okay. So I want to talk about how you decided, you know, where does life insurance come in? I mean,
I know, right? All of a sudden it's there.
It's there. And then why you felt like, hey, I have to share this with the rest of the world.
And I do have to share this with the rest of the world. So here's what happened. I was minding my own business, doing what I do.
Nancy, you don't ever mind your own business. What are you talking about?
But I told myself I was minding my own business, doing my real estate, and I'm good. And this is not bragging. These are just facts. I'm good at what I do. I am excellent at being a real estate broker because I'm not just a real estate agent. I am a problem solver.
Yes.
Show me the problem, I'll solve it. Let's stop talking about it. Let's come with the solutions.
Aren't most business owners supposed to be that
You're
anyway,
supposed
right?
to be
Isn't that what
about
we're
the
supposed to do?
solutions.
Yeah.
I just told
Yeah.
someone last week, can you stop not bringing problems? Can you bring some solutions? I said, you're talking more now about more problems and you bringing problems. Can we bring a solution?
Yeah.
Can we get to the solution,
Yeah.
please?
Yeah.
And so what happened was, I'm here being a realtor, and I called one of my clients because one of the things I do is definitely check in with my clients, and that's why
Which is a
90%
Yeah.
of my business is referrals.
Yeah.
So I check in with my client, and she said her husband had passed, and I was like, oh no. And she said, well, I have to sell the house, and it was like perfect timing, unfortunately, but it was the perfect timing for me. I have to sell the house. I'm like, well, why do you have to sell the house? Well, I'm not working. I have a lot of equity, and what you don't understand, you might have $100,000 equity in your home, your money to have, but if you don't have a job or you have terrible credit, you can't have access to it.
You can't carve out a little piece of
You
drywall
cannot
and walk
carve
in.
out a little piece. You can't. So she had to sell the home. And I felt so bad. And then another client called me, like I think it was a month later, with the same thing. I was like, wait a minute.
This is divine intervention.
Right. I was like, wait a minute.
God's
Yeah,
saying,
this
hey.
is an issue and this is a problem. And being a problem solver, I need to solve this problem. And so I did a little search and I realized, oh, I will get my life insurance license. And when I sell my client a home, you already trust me. And I just helped you acquire your and protected mortgage protection.
Yeah.
And that's all I'm going to do. Life insurance.
Yeah.
Just deal with my
Which
clients.
makes a lot of sense.
Mortgage protection, and so that if she had mortgage protection, she would not have had to leave. She would have gotten a check for $800,000 and go live her good life. So that's what I teach people now. These are the things that you need to add: the mortgage protection, and then now I added, with all that's going on in the stock market, let me show you how to eliminate and mitigate the loss in your 401k and your TSP, because you basically, can I tell you people, the 401k, I'm sorry, it's not where you should be putting your money.
Absolutely.
Please, it's not. Me or somebody else, it's not where you should be putting your money. You need to contact me so we can talk about how I can save you the bleed, stop the bleeding.
And it's preserving. I mean, it's preserving wealth. It's using your home, and I used to say this when I was in the business. I didn't want it to be a glorified rental.
Right.
I want it to be a wealth creation tool.
Exactly.
Right?
And that's what it is. You have your home, you have it protected with the mortgage protection. And then I talk mostly because I'm about helping women, and I focus on single women, but I help everyone. But I focus on single women because I was raised by a single woman and saw how she struggled. And I want to help people not to have to things that you don't need that depreciates, when you can buy a 4-unit building for less than you think, right? For less money down than you think. Right? And you let that fuel your fabulous life, because you have 4 units, 4 tenants paying for, 2 of them paying for the building and 2 of them paying for your lifestyle.
Yes, exactly.
Right? So,
what a great segue. What a great segue, because I know that multifamily is an important thing for you as well. So, most people today, in today's environment, are purchasing or investing in multifamily as a syndication. So let's talk about the difference between a syndication and outright purchasing, right? Because there's different investment tools, there's different skills that need to come in, right, and be involved in it. One is being or having a service to do it, the other is a reach deck. Right, a pitch deck for syndication, and hoping that these people are not doing. So let's talk a little bit about that. I want to talk about that, but then we'll go back to how you got into multifamily. Okay. But since we're here,
so syndication, right? syndication can be difficult, can be easy. It depends
Right.
on the people that's doing it, that's putting it together. And I don't want to name names so you think you can go to that person.
Right.
I'm just mentioning a name because that's where I did my syndication, right, with Grant Cardone.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep,
I did my
too.
syndication.
First one.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh, did you
Yeah,
really?
first one.
Yeah.
First one.
So I did my first one.
Yeah.
With Grant Cardone, and because that was easy for me because they already had the systems in place, they had everything. They did the
They
research.
pay monthly, not quarterly.
Yes, and they do all of that, right? So you get paid monthly when you're an accredited investor, meaning that you invested $100,000 or more. And if you're not an accredited, meaning that you don't make $250,000 or more a year consistently for the last 3 years before you did the investment, you get paid quarterly.
Right. And that was the definition of syndication. I mean, accredited, just so everybody knows. Yeah. Or have a net worth of $1 million that's not in your home.
Exactly. Exactly. So that's how
and
they
it's
do.
Or. It's not and.
Right. It's or.
Yeah, which is really cool.
So that's how they do the accredited versus. And what I love, because he did the unaccredited, which meant that other people that wouldn't ordinarily have the opportunity to invest, like you could invest $5,000, $10,000,
and get $8.48,
and get what you get from exactly. Whether I don't know, but at least because one of the things about him was that he said was even if he refinanced and if you're still in the deal. Yes. You're still in the deal. So you still got the equity. So whenever 50 million years ago, later when they sell it, you still get what you put in plus a chunk of your interest. So that's the
syndication.
Syndication, thank you very much. And the one-on-one, and syndication doesn't have to be a big level with a Grant Cardone or whatever. It could be you and those friends that you get together and take all those fabulous vacations with. And when you go and you eat all these $8,000 dinners, you can get together, put a syndication together, put money together and buy a building together. So you're making money together instead of just spending money together.
I love that.
Right?
Is that how you started, or did you kind of stumble on a client that came up and said, hey, I want to buy a 4-unit property? And you said, really? I've never done that before.
No.
Maybe I need to start thinking.
No, you want to know how I started with multifamily units? When the real estate market jumped off the cliff in 2008, it dragged me with it.
Great recession.
It dragged me with it. So you can have. I know it's right, because that's why I'm here. I'm here to teach you what I didn't know, so you don't have to lose $5 million, right? What happened was when the market went where it went, I lost $5 million. I lost 8 properties. And for 3 years, I was like paralyzed. I was scared because every decision I made brought me here. I bought all these properties, Chicago, North Carolina, wherever. Oh my God, I am in Brokeville. What do? I lost all my money. And then at that moment, I decided to start a magazine. Don't ask me why.
Okay, so hold that thought, because we're going to come back in just a minute. We'll see you in just a few minutes, and we'll talk about what steps you took next. Well, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm here talking with Nancy Alert, and she is talking about what happened to her in the Great Recession, how she lost $5 million so that you don't have to. Right? And then all of a sudden you said, and I was hoping you were going to go down this line of, and I realized this is what I should be doing. Exactly. But instead you said, I realized I should start a magazine.
So this is what happened, because I said, I lost all this money and I'm paralyzed. I'm not doing anything. I'm like, but I'm still going to stay in real estate, but I need to make some money, right? Or do something. And so this opportunity came to start a magazine, Her Life, and my business partner and I did it. It was but what we didn't realize is my business partner worked full-time at the State Department. I'm a real estate agent. It's the 2 of us and 2 interns running a monthly publication.
So now you're in business, whole different business.
Now I've lost $500,000 over there. And I'm like, I'm done. I don't know what to do. And then I started reading and listening to podcasts and stuff. And I was like, there it is right there. I found it. And I realized that had I had a 4-unit building, I would not have lost
Right,
it.
because you would have
I
that
would
annuity
not
income
have
coming in.
lost it. And people said, well, people still would not have paid their rent, Nancy, like they stopped paying rent on your 8 properties. But no, here's the thing. The 8 properties were individuals. So there was one
Right.
person paying that condo. When
Right.
this
And as
stopped,
it
it's
happened-
me. You
Yeah.
have a 4-unit building,
Yeah.
even if 2 people stop, even if 3 people stop paying, because you bought it correctly, right?
Yeah.
2 people are supposed to, 1.5 supposed to pay for your mortgage and your
Right.
debt and on your carrying
And the
costs. And I
rest for
usually
your
say
wealth.
2, and the other 2 is for your
Yeah.
wealth.
Yeah.
So even if you weren't making money, you would still have the asset and it would still be appreciating. So therefore you would not have lost it. And that's when the light bulb came on. And I was like, oh my God,
Yeah.
multi-family is where it is.
Yeah.
Everyone should own at least a 4-unit. Better tax advantages when you, because when you're buying your home, you're just living there, you're not making
Right.
any money.
Right.
And it's just your income you use to
That's
qualify
being
for
used,
that.
yeah. And I think you can understand too, so listen, if you're listening in and watching this and you're going, wow, this is going all over. I thought we are talking about business. We are talking about the business of business. And the thing is, when you get to a 4-unit, it's not about the value of the home, or the property. It's about what the income brings in.
Yes.
And there is the value.
Yeah.
And so I just wanted to make sure we clarified that, as we went there. So, I know a lot of people are thinking, well, I live in Chicago. I live in Washington, D.C. There aren't any 4-unit homes around here.
And I said, yes, they are. I said, yes, they are, because that's what I do every day for the last 30 years.
Right.
This is what I do. But here's the thing, what I say to people. If you're not going to live in the unit, it doesn't matter where it is as long as it's cash flowing.
That's right.
And most importantly, don't DIY it. You are not a property manager. Just pay the people the 7, 8, 9, 10%, whatever they're asking for to manage your property. So you could just wake up and go to your mailbox. Well, just open your phone now. You don't have to go to your mailbox and see your money in your account.
I call it email income.
Emailing, right?
Inbox income.
Inbox income.
Right.
I think people don't want. I don't want to be a landlord. Well, you don't have to be. Let the property management company.
And especially when you have, multiple units, and it's not just 4, it can be 8 or 12 or 9 or
32,
whatever,
52, 350.
Right.
Yes.
The tenants are paying for the management of it.
Yes.
So you don't have the stress. And you're buying your time back. That's really something everybody needs to look at. So when you look back on how you started with all of this, and I love that you're serving people with your heart, and I love that you're making money. That's what we all want to do, right? But if we want to harvest,
yes. Oh, that was perfect, Jen.
If we want to harvest these great yields and things like that, what are some skills that you need to have in the business of real estate? What are some skills that people, you said, I didn't have these skills, I had to learn these things. A lot of this is learned, but what can you share with people to harvest so that they can harvest those skills that they have, to ensure that it's not just a hustle, a hobby, right? That you really are creating a business that's going to last for a long time.
So this is Business on the Vine, and we're talking about businesses. And I know you heard multifamily, but it is, as an investor, it is a business.
It's a business,
right?
Yeah.
It's a business. And here are some of the things that work well for me. I came into this business being creative. The first property I purchased called
land contracts, right.
Where I didn't have to pay any money, I just took it over.
Yeah.
The first one was assumable, unrestricted.
Right.
The second one was contract for deed.
Right.
It was a VA loan. So I've always been creative. Think about creative thinking, creative financing, creative negotiations. When it comes to negotiations, I'm a boss, right?
Yeah.
But you have to, either you learn it or you're born with it. I don't know which one it is for me. And there's some things about me that I don't know whether I learned it or whether it was innate. And this is why I call it the alert factor. And that's the name of my company, is the alert factor, because people would always say, well, Nancy, I did what you said and I didn't get your results. And I would say, well, the alert factor. It was just me. And that's when I called. I was like, oh, that's what I'm going to call my company, the alert factor. But what you have to learn is you be open, be coachable.
Yeah.
Right? And don't white knuckle everything. And you don't know everything. You do not know everything. Someone else might know more. People that know more than you do, just listen. Less talking, more listening.
Yeah, less impressing.
Yes.
Because that tends to be the case, right? When someone you know is really successful, you know, like if we were with Tony Robbins, right, in a room,
I shut my mouth up.
You know, just listen.
I just listen.
Because
what am I saying to Tony? I'm just listening.
Right.
I tell people, like, when I'm in the room with Christina Barrari, because she invited me in many rooms. Right. When I'm in those rooms, I'm about listening, because these are people that I am aspiring to get up to there. And you don't want to ever be the person, unless you're a narcissist, you want everybody to love you. You don't want to be that person where everyone's looking up to you, because you're not growing.
Yeah.
You're not
growing.
Oh
my gosh. Yeah. And that's happened so many times recently where I went into the room and I was the one everybody was calling at. And I was like, oh, I'm in the wrong room.
You're in the wrong room.
I want to help people, right?
Yes.
Everyone help people.
And I do.
But I'm in the wrong room because I want growth. And I don't want to have that ceiling happening.
But some people like that because it makes them
it makes them feel all warm and special. Yeah. And I definitely so that was, you know, what you had to learn, right? Some skill sets that you had to have. And as business owners, I think sometimes we come in as entrepreneurs, and it's our second career, by the way, because we did something and now we're coming in the second career. We bring all these beautiful skills, we bring all the credibility, right, the experiences, and then we plop it into this world, right, this world of entrepreneurship, and we're going, what's a funnel? What's an affiliate link? What is that? What are these crazy things? And we start doubting ourselves, right? And we start thinking, gosh, you know, maybe I don't know.
People, you're trying to run other people's race. Remember, this is your race. This is your life. Everyone else has something different. Be you. Everyone else is taken. Don't try to run somebody else's race. And this is one of the things that I learned that really helped me is no is a complete sentence. No is a complete sentence. You don't have to explain. You don't have to discuss it.
Except, but
however, if you're one of those nice people and you don't just want to say no, these are some of the things you can say. I'm so sorry. That does not work for me right now.
I love that. Nancy, it's been a pleasure having you here. Tell everybody how they can get into contact with you.
Well, you can reach me on Instagram, The Alert Factor, or you can go to thealertfactor.com and schedule a consultation with me to discuss your financial solution, your financial blueprint. I am here to help you with real estate and with your financial outlook. I'm Nancy Alert.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank
Cheers
you,
to you for
Cheers
a successful business and life.